I noticed on the program, I think it was after my presentation, 1 minute of silence for past students who lost their lives. I want to reflect a bit on two moments in my life, and both moments in my life here while a student, and it had to do with persons who have gone to the great beyond. During my tenure at this institution, Pettibodale Secondary School had a very good cricket team. But during those days, there were two other schools that we played in competition. Chumoga Secondary and Barrowley Secondary. And if you can win those two, well, your day is done. But every year in my time, you won one of those schools. That was Barrowley, because every year Chumoga beating us. I remember one year, while at Barrowley playing field in a game, the secondary school game, we were almost losing the match. And a past student who has gone to the great beyond by the name of Mr. Oswald Simmons, the older students might know what I'm talking about. He came to the wicket, and with about 3 overs to go, he was able to hit 10 fours almost consecutively, and we won that game with an over to spare. Many believe if he had the exposure, he might have been one of the first in these parts to represent the West Indies at cricket as a batsman, because he was that good, and as I said, a product of this institution. And though at that time, at the other end of the wicket, I didn't touch the ball, but I enjoyed the moment as if I was the one with the winning run. I want to reflect also to Oswald Simmons, my good buddy. May God continue to bless your soul as you rest in peace. I want to pay homage to another past student who has gone to the great beyond. I take this angle because, you know, what everybody has said earlier on make no sense I repeat. I want to pay homage, as I said, to a past student in the era of long distance running. I believe at the time he was the best secondary school student in long distance at St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Remember, not just Pettibodale Secondary, but St. Vincent and the Grenadines had to offer at the time. He was the best on show. I speak no other than Mr. Royal Douglas, aka Black and White. I recall in 1982, while at Arnesville, it was the very year they introduced the 5,000 meters at the athletic meet. The distance was 14 laps around Arnesville. 14 laps to complete 5,000 meters. Myself and Raul was put in the race because we were the best at the school in long distance. I was sent to support Raul. But while we were going, there was a guy from St. Martin who was a very good runner. And we were behind him, and I was saying to Raul, when we had about, say, when we completed the 12th lap, 2 more to go. I said, Raul, don't you think it's time that we take him down? He said, no, give him a chance. At the end of the 13th lap, I said, Raul, should we take him now? He said, no. But then, you know, as a speaker earlier on talking about expectation, Raul was our best athlete, but on that day, it wasn't his best day. I looked across and I watched his face and I realized, as we say in local parlance, he was burned and he couldn't go any faster. And I know I had the energy because I was the second fiddle. And I decided to take on the attack all by myself. But at the end of it, the guy from St. Martin came for us still. I came second and Raul came third. I recall another occasion at the inter-secondary school road relay. We were running from Stubbs to the grammar school grounds. I remember that team very well. And the first leg was yours truly. The second leg was one Kendall Bentic from Shatibila, we call him Ishi. Third leg, inevitable, Royal Douglas. Fourth leg, artist Finley. The fifth leg, Percival Finley. And the sixth leg, Raymond Finley. I recall during those years that Pettibone Secondary School, when it comes to inter-school road relay, was the school to beat. At that time, the record for road relay was 1 hour and 1 minute set by this technical college. Not even secondary school, but the technical college had the record. In the fifth leg of the relay, that is coming up Castle Hill. No, I missed out the person name. Carldrick Douglas. Somebody else was Carldrick Nash, yes. He was the person that I forget. He was running the fifth leg. And when the baton was given to him, listen to this, eh? When the baton was given to him coming up Castle Hill, remember I told you the relay finished at the grammar school grounds, going to Cane Garden and end at grammar school ground. The record at that time in the relay was 1 hour, 1 minute, the record. And when Pettibone Secondary School coming up Castle Hill, they were 27 minutes into the relay. But when the baton was given to Carldrick, the excitement maybe was too much for him. And I remember Wiz Fitzhughes was on his motorbike, and one Verral Backus from Rosebank was the sports master. And because we were so much inside of breaking and setting a new record for good, they forced him on, and he got upset and threw away the baton. He threw away the baton. He was begged to go for it. He walked down at the baton, then walked in style go up Side Hill. And Percival Finley took it from him to bring it home. And the end of it, to cut a long story short, Pets lost the relay by a few seconds still. But I say that to give you the history in terms of Pettibone Secondary School and pay homage to a good virgin who has gone to the great beyond, Royal Black and White Douglas, who would have contributed tremendously as athletics and football to Pettibone Secondary School. May his soul rest in peace. As a student here, it was indeed a pleasure. There was a teacher who was in charge of Form 5 during my tenure. He put on the notice board in the 5th form, opportunity. Opportunity knocks. That's those 2 words. And when he put them up there, none of us understood why. But later on, when we finished secondary school and we realized that we had a shot of being anything that you want to be, and you could only get that opportunity while you are in school, it was indeed opportunity now. I recall when I graduated here in October of 1984. The following week, I was a teacher. Mr. Herbert and company gave me what I don't believe any other teacher of this school ever get that welcome. I was given the red carpet treatment. That is, when I enter the gate, right at the gate there, they put newspapers on the ground for me to walk on straight to the staff room. That is the red carpet treatment, pet style. Now, red carpet, yes. You know why? When I get in the staff room, he said, I want you to sit right next to me. Because now you're a teacher. I want you to experience what I experience with people like you over in the Form 5. Mr. Herbert, as Mr. Nash said earlier on, I wish to thank you for the encouragement that you would have given me over the years. And during my tenure, my 16 years as a teacher, you have been one of the persons who would have molded me to the person that I become. Thank you very much for that. My principal, as a student in my latter years and during my early teaching years, Mr. Westwick Williams. I have never gotten the opportunity to thank you so much because I remember when I had the opportunity to sit CXC exams, I had no money. And you paid for my exams. Mr. Williams, Dr. Westwick Williams, I want to thank you also for your contribution to my life in those early years, to forging the individual that I am today. I say thank you very much for that. Pettibone Secondary School, you have done well for 40 years. And I want you to continue to do well. As someone said, for the next 140 years, I want you to do well. The present student, don't say you can. You can be anything that you want to be. The opportunity is yours, and please, as Gilbert said this morning, take it. It is there for the taking. As a past student, as a past teacher, and now the Member of Parliament for this constituency, I want to take this opportunity in wishing the Pettibone Secondary School all the best as the school celebrates 40 years in existence. And I want the school to bear to its motto, to continue to reach out and achieve.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matthews. That's remarks from the area representative. Very emotional recount of some of the happenings here at Pettibone Secondary School, and many of us could allude to those. At this time, we're going to stand and give a 1-minute silence to all the past students who have lost lives over the years. So we ask in the audience, those in the stand, and let's silence beginning this time. Thank you. This time we're going to call on 2 students. Sorry, we're going to call on Miss Raquel Robertson and Julian Edwards. They're going to do some reflection of a past students. And then we ask Miss Emrys Davis and Murray and others to stand by to give some brief remarks.
Protocol already been established. I would like to say good afternoon to all present. This is my reflection of a past student at the Pettibone Secondary School. This is indeed a day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Today is indeed a joyous occasion in the lives of past and present students, principals, and staff of the Pettibone Secondary School. Today, we celebrate 40 years of existence as an institution. When I entered the gates of Pettibone Secondary School 19 years ago, on the 3rd of September 1997, I knew my life would change forever. I was afforded opportunities needed to be whatever I wanted to be, and taught skills I needed to survive in a world of uncertainties. I grew up with my grandparents and knew that they could not have afforded to send me to any other school. I was happy to be a student of the Pettibone Secondary School, even if it meant bringing porridge to school in a butter container or a butter dish, as we call them, and other students laughing at me. It was school or the banana field, and I was fed up of the banana field for sure. I had the best classmates and teachers. I love all of my classmates and teachers and will never forget them, since each of them would have impacted my life in one way or the other. Today, most, if not all of them, and I are still friends. Some are present here today. One particular student I will never forget and cannot seem to get rid of is Miss Latoya Labode, whom we used to so lovingly call Fatso. She was our teacher's pet, and we were not allowed to do or say anything out of the way in class, or we were reported. To this day, she still has a score to settle with most of our classmates. Some of my classmates are Mrs. Latisha Brewster, Leonard Matthews, Yvonne Williams, Nerissa Nanton, Rotika Finley, Jamal Okato, may his soul rest in peace, Damian Chambers, Festus Murray, and the list goes on, but time does not permit me to list all of them. I remember our dear loving teachers, and I openly thank them for, as our theme states, molding our minds and shaping our lives. It is only now I realize how hard teachers work. We were quite afraid of our dear love Mrs. Dora James, who taught us typewriting and accounts. Mrs. James was serious, and we wasted no time in getting to her class or the typing room that was located where the library is now. However, Miss Wedney Rani was my favorite teacher, since English was my favorite subject. I looked forward to her classes, and when she was absent, I was upset. Miss Rani made her classes come to life by using real-life situations, and even to this day, I try my best to imitate her when I am teaching. I love Mrs. Stevens. May her soul rest in peace. She was the kindest teacher of them all. Even though I was in the business class, I spent a lot of time in the foods lab with Mrs. Stevens, since she allowed me to sit in her class and even participate whenever I was free or one of my teachers was absent. She was a darling. Who could forget Miss Coral Thompson, our history and social studies teacher? We were bound to pass because she marked the hardest of all our teachers. All of my teachers then made a mark on my life. Mr. Crease, the two Miss Cyrus, Mr. White, Miss Kinder Edwards, Mrs. Marion Williams, just to name a few. During my years at the Petty Bodell Secondary School, I looked forward to sports since I was a sportswoman. Yes, I ran and played netball. Back then, we didn't have volleyball and female basketball. This is how lucky you, the present students, are. We excelled at sports, especially athletics. Reflecting now, I realized that we were bound to be good athletes because of our dear principal, Mr. Asfo Stevens, whom we raced across the corridors before we were seen outside our classes. There was always collisions to get into our classrooms. As soon as we saw him coming, we dropped whatever we were doing and started to run, even if it meant leaving our bags behind. Who could forget his favorite line? Little boy, little girl, come here. This was always followed by a lecture from him, often reminding us of the importance of education. Our netball coaches, Mrs. Dora James and Coral Thompson, were bosses, as we would say in colloquial terms. When they were coaching, we had to do drills and learn game plans. It was difficult to make the team and was an embarrassment when one did not. The selection of the team was done in front of the entire school. They would invite a local team to come and play with us, and we were selected from there. I wasn't selected for the first year, but the remaining 4 years I was. We excelled in sports and represented our school well. I cannot remember the exact year when we were supposed to win inter-schools athletics championship. Unfortunately, we were disqualified, and to this day, this still remains a mystery to us. It was a sad day for our school, and most, if not all of us athletes, cried openly at Arnottsville. Petty Bodell Secondary School is one of the best schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and no one can convince me otherwise. Nonetheless, students must embrace opportunities that are available to them. I know I did, and I am forever grateful to this institution. I wish that some of the opportunities available now were available then. It is because of my experience and opportunities that were afforded me at this school why I was enthused to return here as a teacher 11 years ago. I am forever grateful to the Petty Bodell Secondary School for helping me to become the woman I am today. Please join with me as we clap 40 times for the Petty Bodell Secondary School, our noble institution. Let's go! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. That's not much to get back, right? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, reach out and achieve.
Thank you very much, and we invite now to the podium another student who is going to give some reflections.
Portugal has been established already. It is with great pleasure that I stand here today to say I was one of the first set of students who came to this institution. The older, 4 of us, 4 boys from Fijus attend this school. Name, Julian Edwards himself, Carges Murray, David Charles and Stevenson Charles. Was the first 4 oldest boys from Fijus attend with some girls, Lucine Williams, Celia Karen, etc. Just to name a few. I was among the very first, the very first principal was Armand Williams. I never meet no Mr. Restrict neither. The rest, But it was a good thing to be in Pittsburgh school because it was a disciplined school. You got to respect your teacher, and teacher had to respect the student. And today, what I want to say to the teacher, they must gain the respect of the student, and then you can make a better school. Because in our tenant at Pittsburgh Secondary School, I hear Mr. Matthews say he does a long distance runner. But I want to like to clutch with him. Because at my time at Pittsburgh School, no. There is no student inside the school could have been me running. None. Male, female, none. And that was a fact. None. At one time, we go to stop so at the same long distance meter. But it was a one-man race. And I tell you, if I did have 2 more minutes, the grammar school stuff, short down there and tall. 2 minutes, he would not have beat me. Only 2 minutes. 2 minutes. No. People at school, I love this institution because some of the teachers what mold me to be what I am today. Mr. Glasgow Williams used to do the Bible study. And today, from that, I set my mind to be a minister of the gospel. And today, I achieved that for good. And that is one of the subjects I want to see came back to school. the Bible study. Mold the children, because the Bible says, train the children in the way they should go. And that is one of the things I want to see come back in school today. I have a lovely time with people in school, and many people don't know that I entered the school. But I think today, you know. Hallelujah. So God is good.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwards. We're going to have this time some remarks from some other past students. We're going to have Emrys Davis coming. We want to apologize for Mr. Thompson. He's away. He was supposed to be here but has some other engagement. We have Mr. Maurice here. We want to hear from Miss Denny. So line yourself up. Let's get here from them. They've been here all day. We've been having a lovely time here. And we have a lot of time to go till next year. So there's a lot of activities.
Protocol has already been established. Good afternoon, everyone. I must take this time to extend gratitude and thanks to the Petit Bodel Secondary School in celebrating our 40th anniversary in existence. To the past teachers and principals, Mr. Westwick Williams, he was a very strict disciplinarian. Yes. I remembered one time I gave Mr. Matthews, who lives at Belmont, some real nasty bad words, and Mr. Williams gave me a licking in that office. I pee my skin and I ran under the steps and dry it off. I couldn't even go home and tell mommy because I know I wouldn't get another. Mr. Williams, thank you very much for those licks. Because the next day I didn't cuss anybody or to anybody, but I know when I was in Form 5, I did give Basha Nora some good ones over there, but I didn't get any licks. Alright? Thank you anyway. Now I will be short. Today I stand tall and I am very proud to be a past student of this noble institution, the Petit Bodel Secondary School. Most of you know me. My name is Emrys Stapleton, and I attended this school from September 1983 to June 1989. After completing my secondary education here, I was gainfully employed as an extension aide and later as a data collector, and today I am employed still as a field officer in statistics in the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. I am the only person in the entire ministry who holds that position and has been there for the past 6.5 years. It was all because of the discipline, the knowledge, and the wisdom that I received here while I was a student at this institution. Today, as a field officer, on a daily basis, I collect data on all agricultural produce, whatever it is, and whatever is being harvested on a monthly basis. I collect it daily from farmers, from Lomans at Grand Gate to Windsor Forest. Well, nobody lives at Windsor Forest, so I walk to Richmond and Digo. I also conduct cost of production survey and obtain information on farm gate prices on all agricultural commodity, as I said, from Windsor, from Grand Gate back to Richmond and Digo. And it all came about because of this institution. All of this contributed to nation building, and as a citizen of this island, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and a very proud student of this institution, I would like to say thank you to the past teachers. Mr. Harbert is one of them who's here. Thank you, Mr. Harbert. Thank you, Mr. Bramble. Brother Al, thank you for the little bit of industrial arts that I was taught there. To Miss Rodney, Miss Cyrus, Miss Vilma Phipps, just to mention a few. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To Mr. Douglas, who is the present principal, I am asking you please, I know it is a hard task that you're undertaking, but with God's help and with God's grace, you can do it. And with all of us on board, we will do it and make this school a top school as it was in the past. Congratulations to Petit Border Secondary School, and we will strive together, reaching out and achieving our goals. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Stapleton.